Hi guys, Pam here from Salon Savvy. How are you today? I thought today we'd talk about a topic that is important to every salon and spa owner, and that is discounting your services. Discounting is a very widely accepted practice amongst salon and spa owners. However, it can have a terribly detrimental effect on your business in a lot of different ways, not necessarily just for the fact that you're getting less money for your services. So I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you a little bit about it, perhaps to make you look at discounting as a regular strategy as something that maybe you should consider to maybe stop or do less often. So, why shouldn't you discount? Well, there's a few good reasons. First of all, when you discount a premium service, now let me take a step back here. I always tell my clients to basically break their service menu down into what I like to call primary and secondary, or premium and secondary services. Primary and premium get interchanged a bit there. But the whole idea is it's going to be a little different. Those two lists are going to be a little different for each salon, and that's because everybody has their own little specialities, and they have their own services where they are trying to grow their business using those services. For some salons, their premium or primary services might rotate around facials and skin treatments and advanced therapies using equipment, things like that. Whereas another salon might have primary services that completely evolve around waxing. That's where they're working their business, that's where they're growing their business. So basically your primary or premium services are those services that you want to grow your business around. They should be your most profitable services, and the things, of course, that you enjoy doing as well. That's a bonus. And your secondary services might be things that you do in conjunction with those primary services. So I'm just going to take Mary Jane's salon as an example and say her primary services may be microdermabrasion, anti-aging facials, acne treatments, LED therapies, and anything kind of in that arena. I think you know where I'm going there. And her secondary services are going to be things like lash tints, brow tidies, file and polish on the nails, maybe spray tans, smaller services that are really not that important to her, but are there and are provided by her salon. So now that we've got that clear, I believe that you should never ever discount a primary or premium service. And the reason for that is that when you do that, it actually permanently damages the integrity and the value of that service in the eyes of your clients. If a client sees that you normally charge $110 for a particular treatment and suddenly you're throwing it out there at $70, the mindset is going to be, well, if they can afford to do it for $70 and still make a profit, then why am I paying $110 for it? And immediately the value of that service drops from $110 to $70 in the mind of the client. So you don't want that to happen. You want those very important business growth services to retain their value, and you want the client to value them for the full price of the service. So that's one reason why we don't want to get involved in discounting those primary or premium services. I've got some little notes over here if you see me looking over to the left, so bear with me. I don't want to forget anything. I get a bit carried away sometimes. So you don't want to set up in the minds of your clients that you've become a discounting salon. Okay, that's not what you want. You don't go to your chiropractor because they have regular neck cracking discounts, or podiatrists because they have regular toenail cutting discounts, and you don't want to be seen in that way either. I mean, this industry is always striving to look more professional, to be accepted as true professionals, and you don't get that if you start throwing discounts out left, right and centre. So for the sake of yourself and the sake of the industry, discounts on your services are a really bad idea. The other thing is that you are going to often start discounting wars in your local area once you start discounting. And when you start a discounting war on something, it's just a complete lose-lose for everybody. Nobody wins out of that one. So, you know, the minute you drop your prices, there's going to be some competitor out there that'll drop their prices, and then what's happened? Then you've both dropped your prices, you're both making less money, and nobody wins. You know, so it's very hard then to get your prices back up again. So don't start discounting wars with your competitors in your local trading zone, because nobody wins from that strategy at all. What you want to do at all costs is position yourself as a service provider who provides quality and value and professionalism. You know, you don't want to be compared with price. Okay, you don't want people to look up and say, "Oh, Mary Jane Salon does a $99 facial," but you know, if I go to so and so's salon, they do an $89 facial, so I'm going to go and do the $89 facial. You've always got to promote yourself in your marketing as, you know, very high quality and great value. And by great value, I don't mean cheap. Okay, value does not mean cheap. Value means that you provide a fantastic service for the price that you're asking. So what do you do instead of discounting? You know, you want to run a monthly special. You want to, you know, tempt your clients in. Maybe it's a little bit quiet on certain days of the week or certain weeks of the month. And you know that the best way to get the client in is to offer some kind of a special deal. Well, you've probably heard this a million times before, but I'm going to tell you again. What you need to do is value add. Okay, and this is where your primary or premium services and your secondary services come into play. So if you haven't done it before, I'd like you to get a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle, list your primary services on this side, list your secondary services on this side, so you're really clear about what's a primary service in your business and what's a secondary service. Once you've got this information, you can start putting together promotional packages that are going to appeal to your clients and won't damage the integrity of your primary services. For instance, if you have a primary service that's not terribly expensive, let's say it's a $79 skin treatment, and you want to marry that up with a secondary service that provides true value for your client, but doesn't damage the $79 price tag of that primary service, then what you do is you're going to say, well, let's call it the signature treatment. Our signature treatment. Now, what does that signature treatment marry up nicely with in our secondary services column? And it might marry up nicely with a 20-minute relaxation back massage, or it might marry up nicely with a 15-minute LED light treatment, or it might marry up nicely with a mini micro to kickstart the treatment off with. All things that have value to your clients, but you're still going to get your full $79 for that service, and therefore the client is not going to see that as a discounted service. Now, I'm a great believer in giving clients choice. That's a great way to show them that they can get good value. If you say to them, well, I'm going to give you this $79 treatment and a lash tint. So what does that mean? They don't have a choice, okay? So it's a really good idea to say, with this $79 treatment over here, I'm going to give you a choice. So when you purchase my $79 signature treatment, you can choose either a 20-minute back massage, a lash tint, a brow shape, or maybe, you know, a hand and arm exfoliation and massage, something like that. So a little menu of options, different types of services, and this way the client has a choice. And when the client has a choice, that makes it more value for her. So think about marrying up your services in that way. If you have a higher priced primary service, let's say we've got a $175 treatment that we want to promote to the clients, that might actually be worth offering 2 secondary services with, so that it's worth that spend of $175. So do you get where I'm coming from here? Instead of saying we're going to give you this $175 service for half price, which means that you've actually just done yourself out of $85 and will have trouble in the future selling it for the $175? Or are you going to say, I'm going to offer you a choice of a 15-minute or 20-minute relaxing back massage, and your choice of either a lash chin to brow shape or hand massage or whatever it is that is in your secondary column that marries up nicely with that treatment. The thing that I do recommend is the services that are in your secondary column. Generally, you wouldn't offer services that weren't that pleasant to have, like maybe bikini waxing might not be something that you'd offer as a secondary service because not everybody has it. You want to kind of have a selection of treatments that are most likely to be accepted and wanted from your clients. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to retain the pricing integrity of our primary service whilst giving the clients true value by offering them 1 or maybe 2 from our secondary services. Yes, it is going to take you a little bit more time to provide that service. Perhaps you can think of ways where it's not going to cost you too much more. My motto for a secondary service is it should be short in time and low in cost to provide. Often you can actually, if you could substitute one mask with a premium mask, for instance, then you're really not spending any more time at all. But generally, most salons have got more time than money. So when we give away a little bit of extra time to get full price premium service sold, then that's not a bad investment. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today. Just a touch on providing quality services and thinking about how you can position yourself as a quality service provider. So that you're not driven to having to drop your price to attract clients, is to think about how you can add more value to each of your services. And I say this a lot because it applies in so many situations, but really brainstorm. What are your competitors doing? What can you do that they're not providing? It's not something that you want to spend a lot of money on or even a lot of time on. It's thoughtfulness things. It's the things that people come back to you for instead of going to the lady down the road. Why do clients come to you? Is it because you add that little bit of extra something in your treatments? And every treatment in your service menu should have some kind of a unique point of difference, something that makes your treatment stand out above the salon down the road's treatment. Even though it might be exactly the same treatment, if you're doing something that really stands out, it might be a really superb neck and shoulder massage, or it might be every facial treatment finishes with something like a scalp massage or something like that, or every massage you offer your clients a sensory journey by letting them choose from, say, 3 different aromatherapy oils that they can have, or anything like that, anything at all that can make you stand out, anything that will keep the client saying, well, I can go to that salon for $75, that salon for $75, but I'll always go back to that salon because when they do their facials, I will also get blah, 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 and I can't get that anywhere else. So that helps to keep you standing out from the competitors and being unique in your marketplace. So, discounting. I hope that that's given you some thoughts about not discounting your primary services anymore. By the way, discounting retail is a different kettle of fish, because retail, when you sell retail, you're not selling your time as such, which is why you can offer retail discounts. as long as you know how to mark it down and still make a profit. But that's a topic for another video. So, do yourself a favour and stop discounting your primary services. Start thinking about value adding, but do it well. Do it in a way that the client is really going to benefit from it and enjoy it and appreciate it. And that way you can maintain your prices and your pricing integrity as well. And that's it for today. So I hope you enjoyed that little discussion on discount pricing, and hope you look forward to our next live chat. See you then. Bye.